What up fellas, so today we're breaking down what I believe is one of the best workout routines out there, Jeff Nippard's push-pull leg split. The routine that helped completely transform my physique even in my small little home gym with a few compromises to the split. The push-pull leg split in general has become widely popular and one of the most common routines, as all the recent research has shown that hitting each muscle part at least 2 times a week with around 20 weekly sets is the most optimal method for hypertrophy and strength gains, which is what the push-pull legs does to a T. After my first 6 dodgy months of training, I swapped to the split, and since then I've made some incredible gains. The best part is he's released full in-depth videos breaking down each routine, so I won't be breaking down every single exercise as he's already done that all for you. Instead, I'll outline what I believe is super important and should be focused on, how to maximize your gains with reps and intensity, and what can potentially be changed or altered to suit you better to maximize your results and reach your goals. Quick disclaimer, this type of split is best suited for intermediate to advanced lifters. If you're new, 3 times a week is more than enough, and even at-home workouts are great to make newbie gains. I've put together the best home workout for you guys right here. Along with that, no matter what routine you follow, consistency is key and will make all the difference. Alright, into the breakdown. Starting off with the push workouts, all I wanted when I started lifting was a chest. Obviously that would look retarded on its own, but in saying that I still wanted to prioritize it, so I started both push workouts with a bench press instead of switching out one for the overhead press, as he does in the second push workout. This is important as the first few exercises for each routine have been proven to elicit more substantial growth for each muscle as you're less fatigued when training it, so whatever you do first in a workout will likely be the most effective. I slightly regret this as the overhead press has great strength carryover to a lot of other exercises, and it's certainly not one of my strong points because of this choice, but my chest definitely grew, so it's totally up to you and your personal goals. If your chest is lagging, I would highly recommend that, but in the same regard, don't neglect other body parts. I didn't need to put that much emphasis on my chest when it wasn't lagging behind, and I sort of wish I kept it more balanced to begin with. This is exactly why following a structured routine built around well-supported research from those working out much longer than you is important, which is what I learned and incorporated into my home workout routine that turned out extremely well. Definitely give it a go if you're stuck at home. But now as we get into the isolation movements, this is where personal preference is needed, not just an option. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out the tricep pushdown to target my triceps and instead just hurt my front delts. Obviously due to my own form problems, but it's easier said than done getting the form right. I spent 6 months doing nothing for my triceps because of my shit form, and as mentioned, they now suck dick. I recently started to experiment with other isolation movements, and skull crushes into close grip presses to push after failure works so much better for me. So realistically, I should have done this months ago and I would have had much better success. In regard to the rest of the push workout, I kept most of the other movements similar but swapped the dumbbell flies for cable flies as the mind muscle connection for me is perfect. Also substituting in dips for the push-ups every now and then, as I personally feel a good contraction for my chest and triceps to finish off the workout. With the pull workouts, we start off with pull-ups, obviously a super effective compound movement to progress with, and I ended up doing this with both pull workouts because I really struggled with it initially, and obviously the best way to improve is to do it more. I went from around 5 pull-ups to over 20 in a year, progressively overloading with adding weight, as well as mixing it up with slower, more full range of motion reps, getting the chest all the way up to the bar to stretch out those lats. In regard to any exercise, if you're confused about whether you should go heavy, moderate, or light weight and low or high reps, just know that all rep ranges from around 4 to 15 have a purpose, and alternating between them every now and then depending on how you feel is never a bad idea. High reps are great to perfect that form, and low reps with heavy weight is ideal for pure strength gains. On top of these factors, it's important to really push yourself every time you're in the gym, with RPEs being a great way of gauging your intensity levels. An RPE stands for the rate of perceived exertion, meaning an RPE of 10 is going to failure, and an RPE of 7 meaning you likely have 3 more reps before failure. In general, pushing yourself to an RPE of 8 would be the most effective, as you're pushing yourself close to failure but leaving some energy in the tank for the next few sets and reps. However, going to failure every now and then to ensure you're actually hitting an RPE of 8 is super beneficial to test your maximum lifts and see how you're progressing. So just make sure your form is good and you have a spotter or someone to help if needed. When it comes to rest times, the main compound lifts can be really fatiguing, so taking up to 4 minutes rest per set if needed is fine, but for isolation exercises, you shouldn't need as long. Listen to your body, but don't get lazy and go on your phone for 10 minutes between each set. Alright, back to the pull workout. The Meadows row has been great for the lats while also slightly targeting the mid traps, but to help hit the traps more as they've been struggling to grow for me again, I've been throwing in the shrug for the second exercise in the pull workout too, just so I'm not as fatigued when I'm into the fourth exercise. And along with that, as mentioned before, my biceps just didn't want to grow with the few basic sets at the end of each workout, so instead I've added in an extra bicep movement into the third exercise of the routine to really help ensure that they're getting sufficient volume to grow, even with my debatable arm genetics. For those with good genetics, you probably won't need to do this. Again, it's completely personal, which is why it's a good idea to experiment and find out for yourself. Obviously, home gyms have their benefits, being extremely easy to access, preventing the lazy excuses of missing workouts, but at the same time, reverse pec decks ain't a thing for me. Feels bad, man. Instead, I try my best to at least hit the same volume for each muscle part. For example, just adding in a few more sets of face pulls to hit the rear delts. The Omni Grip lat pull down has been awesome for me. Doing 3 sets and changing the grip each time to make it slightly easier as you get more fatigued really helps keep the lats engaged with a good range of motion, so I'd highly recommend this for everyone. Along with that, I tried my best to keep the routine as similar as possible. Just adding in the extra bicep work into the middle of the routine before I'm completely dead is 100% starting to pay off, so if you also struggle to grow arms, I'll definitely add that in as well. In regard to the leg workouts, as I'm working out in a home gym, I definitely missed out on some gains without the leg press and all the other machine exercises. Instead, I've stuck to squatting both leg days as well as deadlifting on one, and that's enough to make you feel like death on jelly legs, so I can't really critique the leg workout too well because of that. Safe to say it's pretty standard and will fuck you up, so stick with it and see how you find it, and then make the changes you feel like you need. Hopefully you've now learned from my mistakes and know exactly how you could take a top workout routine and alter it just enough to suit you, your genetics, and your goals. Definitely go check the entire breakdown vid he's done for each routine so you can perfect it and get some juicy boy gains. Thanks so much for watching, boys. Hope this helped and have a good one.